Yeah, I'm saying. Okay, for me, I grew up in a Catholic family. I give my dad and my mom a very big shout out for taking all six of us to church every Sunday. And then almost every day, minus school days, we have something called prayer time. So prayer time is we come back from church, you eat breakfast. As soon as you put your head on the pillow to just have that sharp sleep, prayer time. Oh God! So me, I'll carry one blanket to Popsy's room. We kneel around the bed, and this prayer time was about an hour and a half long every time. So I used to sleep there. I'll cover my head with the blankets, and I just learned, the prayers just by always doing prayer time. And then I'll go to church and I'll always be like this and I'll fall asleep and my dad will wake me up and in the car, he would shout at me for sleeping. It was a routine for me because I know that next Sunday I'm going to sleep again. He's going to shout at me again. I'm going to do prayer time. I'm going to sleep again. And that was just how it went on. So obviously I knew of God. Aside from the prayers I used to hear my dad and my mom say in the house, that was as much as prayer that I knew. I did my Holy Communion, catechism, and then I went off to uni. And I remember in uni, I think I went to church like twice or three times, like the whole time I was away. And I don't think I ever prayed in uni. I think the only time I prayed in uni was maybe exam so that I can pass. Yeah, I said, or maybe someone is sick, just pray for the person. But I don't even know if my prayer was carrying faith. I just think it was just mechanical. And then I feel like the prayers of my parents was what was carrying me all through these years because I felt I was very protected in terms of protection. I had grace, I had favor in my life. And I moved back to Nigeria, became an artist, saw everything that this artist life, entails. And I think just for the fact that I came from a certain type of family with certain type of morals, I was very strong-willed, if that's a word. I think for me, like I've always been hard to influence. So I've always kind of done what I wanted to do. Being the only boy in my house and having five sisters, I've just always been in my own world, creating my own path. And moved back, moved out of my father's house, moved into my own place, making money, doing shows, just living, never really praying. And then I lived in Lekki, and I had this routine where every Sunday I'll go see my dad, see my parents, my sisters and stuff. And I know that if I go to my dad's house, he's going to say, how was church? And I think for the first few times I was church, our light was fine because I didn't go. And I started feeling bad, like, I can't be using church to lie. You know what I'm saying? So let me just actually go to this church on Sunday so that when I go and see him in the evening in house church, it was fine. I feel like I didn't lie. And then
Even if you slept.
Yeah, but what I used to do is I'll go to church late. And because I had become an artist, people always used to stare at me in church. So I never used to go for second collection. I always just sit down because that's when you have to walk in the aisle, and I used to just not like the feeling. So I didn't used to go for second collection. I never stayed to the end of church. And I went late. Just so that the experience shorter, you know. And I did that for a while. Then I stopped going to church again. And then by the grace of God, I was able to get my own house. So I moved into my house now, and I felt myself like, this is a very big step for a man. You know what I'm saying? And I think I owe it to God to try. But when I say try, first of all, I'd heard the term born again like all my life, but I just never, because I'm Catholic, right? I just never associated it with anything that, I never dug deep to understand what it meant. I think it was a term that was kind of like bastardized in a sense, out here. So I just never really understood what it was. But then I'm Catholic, so we do confession. So that was my own trying for God because I hadn't been for confession for like 10 years. So I just said to one of my boys, Nedu, I was like, guy, I think say God don't try for me, so make I at least try for God. Make I go confession tomorrow. He was like, man, I'm not ready. And then my other friend Blink was like, man, I think myself I need confession. So I was like, okay, tomorrow let both of us go. Just like, all right, cool. So I went for confession, and I literally just like emptied myself because I hadn't been for 10 years. I was carrying so much sins, dog. Like it was plenty. And yeah, I'm saying it was plenty. So as soon as I finished confession, I felt so light, bro. Like I felt so light. Like, so you mean I've been carrying all these things for nothing all these years? But then the priest said something to me that was very,